tonight. We just sat up there and said all the Israelites. All right, bet.
All right.
You got a stream, y'all ain't? Are you finna bootleg your back chat?
Nigga, that'd be the best shit, nigga.
I know. Because y'all feel comfortable lying in these back chat. I don't know why y'all straighten up y'all goddamn bow ties once we get on
Hold
that
on,
stream, y'all
whoa. Nigga, I feel straight line anywhere, nigga. What you talking about?
Y'all say motherfucker be terrified. Like, how you doing, sister?
I don't mind making a fool of my motherfucking self, nigga. In fact, I encourage it. I ain't scared to go live. I ain't scared to talk shit. Hey, Fabo, your rant this morning had me dying, cuz. You need to do more shit like that, cuz. That shit had me fucking on the floor, bro.
What you talking about? Talking about what I did with my cousin? Huh?
Nah, you was on there talking about how niggas be pissing you the fuck off and shit.
Oh, the video? Some of my video?
Yeah.
Come here, Maya. Come here. Come here.
Yeah, nigga, that shit had me hollering.
I see I got a lot of views on. Yeah, I see I got a lot of views on that live shit.
Yeah, nigga, that shit had me hollering, cuz. I want you to do that, but I want you to do it with Bubba though.
Oh, do it with Bubba?
Yeah.
Are we live yet?
I could probably do that with Bubba too.
But don't you already got the little filter that make you a gorilla, right?
I think that's on TikTok. Come on. That's
you gotta stop all that noise. What?
Yes,
what diet is doing?
The answer to your question is the answer to your question is yes, Waz, and then a lot of times he's not gonna be able to talk while he's screen recording.
Okay, no, I was just telling Ruben because that background sounds crazy on the line.
I'm gonna go upstairs so I can get on this computer, man, so we can get it in, cuz
he running. Look who
He ain't running. He said he going and get on the computer so he can.
Heard me, man. I don't trust him. You do. Not all right.
They got me stressing like a motherfucker right now, bro.
What you talking about? He finna stand on that.
Yeah, 8 cents, sorry. And 92 cents was gonna be crazy.
It sound like yeah.
Hey, Thor. Oh shit, I ain't thought still on you.
I said, don't shut up now that we live, y'all. Y'all was just talking all that stuff in the back chat. That's crazy. It instantly went quiet in here. Hey.
I gotta make sure I don't incriminate myself.
Nah, I'm about to go upstairs, man. Get on the computer, man, so we can get.
All right,
so
come on, so we can
in.
argue about changing the goddamn name to make white folks respect us.
Man, who the fuck said anything about white people
respect? Change my name, Master.
Y'all need to get the white man out of y'all head.
Man, no, I'm not.
That's the problem.
You want to forget about the white man?
It ain't about the white man no more. We around here the one doing ignorant shit.
It ain't about the white man no more. We the ones around here doing ignorant shit.
We ain't? Oh, we ain't doing ignorant shit.
The conversation is people doing ignorant stuff. It's who's being malicious, who's being reckless, who's being murderous, who's being the thieves of land. Like who has the ability?
We literally doing everything you said to each other, Swab. We literally doing it to each other.
And you impressed, ain't you? You impressed, ain't you? When the last time you had a slave trade? When the last time you broke across somebody's border? When the last time you wanted somebody's resources? When the last time you genocided somebody? When the last time you misplaced somebody?
I said you look at social media.
Come on.
I looked at. I'm on social media looking at a bunch of niggas talking about whooping a child with autism ass.
That ain't nothing. You'll find that in every community. That's not unique to us. That's not nothing to point a finger at us and say.
Yeah, but we not worried about them, Swab. We worried about us. So if how we gonna complain? Listen, how we gonna complain about what the next person doing to us if we doing the same thing?
We're not doing the same thing.
We ain't cleaning our own backyard either. Cause we don't give a fuck about our yard.
You gotta sweep your porch so you can walk out the front door, bro. If you don't sweep your own porch, you can't walk out the front door.
That is weird, bro.
Let me try to play real quick, bro. So
I actually did footwork in my community and all that shit though, so I can actually talk this shit.
I'm saying. So what are you talking about? We the ones
clean your back. If you ain't cleaning your backyard, don't give a fuck about your yard. What you worry about what these crackers got going on?
Okay, so first of all, your point was just we're the ones doing the worst, but you just
we is the ones doing the worst because we ain't helping.
You see how you over talking me because you terrified. You see how you over talking me. You see how you come out?
Never terrified. Hold on, watch your mouth, nigga. I ain't never terrified, nigga.
You terrified. You terrified to reply to. You just made a statement.
So let me fly.
I know. Then you want to help him. Then you want to help him right quick.
Why I gotta be helping? Cause I just want to engage in the conversation.
I got this revolutionary bloodline for real, so I ain't never terrified.
Listen, man.
Yeah. See, look, see, like that's what happened when you leave with ad hoc, right?
No. We're not leaving it. We're not leaving this point. This is
whatever, bro.
I'm still standing I'm still staying right there. Like I just want to add my.
So he said we are doing the worst stuff, and that's why we in condition we in, right?
Well, okay,
but
I want to
man. There's a whole complete thought to that, God. Like, what are you replying to? My first 3 words?
No, it's his opinion. I mean, you ain't got to get bent about it. You know, it's his opinion.
No, it's not. I'm not getting bent about that. I'm just trying to reply to it, and it seemed like. So now he just gave a real life example that he got revolutionary blood. He done stuff for his neighborhood, this, that, and the other. So which one is it? Are we doing revolutionary stuff and cleaning up our backyards?
I don't know what you're doing. Ain't no we, because I don't know what you're doing.
You think you the only one?
I don't know what you're doing.
You think it's you?
I ain't saying just me. I ain't saying just me. I don't know what you're doing.
Why even throw
but if you saying you don't want to fix your own backyard, but you know our people around here is doing this shit to each other 24 motherfucking 7.
Brother, I can deal with drug selling. I know how to clean that up in the neighborhood. Okay.
Drug selling? We doing all types of shit now.
What we are not doing is over policing ourselves. We're not over convicting ourselves. We're not using malicious practices in the judicial system, in the medical system. We not doing on no type of scale what they're doing. You're impressed with a little bit of dirt. You said, all this stuff can get cleaned up in a year. In a year, you can't show me a black neighborhood that in a year we can't
clean shit up, though. That was saying.
Niggas talk about thousands of years of fucking evil and wickedness, and you find yourself, now all of a sudden, y'all so terrified, you want to get rid of the motherfucker that's doing it and start blaming yourself.
I ain't never been terrified of nothing.
Man, you terrified of being called terrified.
Let me add some nuance to the conversation.
Are you suggesting you could clean up all the set tripping in the black community in a year?
In a year.
In a year, you can stop all the deaths over
in a year.
Now this plan I gotta hear. Go ahead.
No, because we could have the same scrutiny and make sure. Is there any gang violence right now currently in your own city?
Hey, he sound like DT. He just said he could do something.
I'm saying with the same scrutiny that you just gave Fabo in your own community, have you cleaned up the gang violence and all of that stuff in a year? Because you said you could do it in a year. So
I'm saying, when you want to have a real conversation and you want to like blow up.
No, I don't really want to deal with that. I want to add, look, this is all I want to add, bro. So as far as like are people doing X, Y, and Z to each other, right? That only make up maybe 1%, if even a whole percent of the actual people that's doing crime. So I want you to understand, if there is, let's say 50 million African Americans, right? If 1 million, if 1% of 50 million was out terrorizing the fucking streets, you would never get rest. The streets would never get rest. You understand what I'm saying? So the people who are committing crimes usually, for the most part, be the same people committing reoccurring crimes. So it's not a large portion of us that's out here committing crimes. It's just those are the ones that get highlighted. The bad ones are the ones that get highlighted. Them the ones y'all see plastered all over TV. Them the ones they make movies about. They're not making movies about Julius Browns. There's a bunch of Julian Browns out there, but they're not making movies about him. They're not plastering him all over the news. You're going to see Pookie and Ray Ray because that's what they want you to see. And I land my plane.
Yes, because they want to justify the over-policing of our communities. They want to blame our condition on our actions, when their actions is the ones that created these conditions to make legitimacy out of our actions. No one stands here and just does this for as long as we did. When white people was in the same situation, you had the Irish, who were the most violent people. You had the Germans, who was the most violent. The Italians, who created the mob. But now all of a sudden, black people come up out of slavery, Jim Crow, segregation.
Who say we out of slavery? We ain't even out of slavery, bro.
I know. Go ahead, because your point
we ain't
is
out of slavery. Like,
okay, so we still
slavery?
okay. Bet. So we still in slavery. Bet. Cool. So we still in slavery. In whatever form it is, we have all of these injustices done to us, and you don't understand why we seek the black market to make stuff better for our family, individually, locally, the people in proximity to us. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You understood when every other group was selling drugs and prostitution and fucking drink, now all of a sudden you think you impressed because you got a Larry Hoover? You think you done did something because you got a Larry Hoover?
Nah, I ain't
did shit, nigga, as far as crime. And I'm not finna sit up here and justify our condition for the crime, because the crime done here, like you said, is less than 1%. I'm not finna sit up here and let that paint us like that's why they're in that condition. You got us fucked up, nigga.
Yeah, but then like those same communities that you just talked about, the Italians, the Irish, right? What did they do with they enterprises? Right? They turned them into legit businesses, right?
Okay,
right?
Yes,
and on top of that, they were allowed to turn those things into legitimate businesses.
Yes.
We not gonna have that same. You're not gonna have that same.
So why are we being blamed? It seems like you on my side.
I don't.
Who say you blaming? I said we got to fix our.
No. You're not gonna run from your initial statement.
Well, I'm saying the blame belongs.
This ain't even about the white man no more. You said it's not about the white man no more. We doing it.
I don't give a fuck about the. It's not about.
Well, that's because it is perpetual, bro. So Swab, you saying that there's no perpetuality.
Listen, man, you're not finna grab no one sentence, man. The point of this discussion is the dismissal of white systematic supremacy and
I'm not taking no white man. I ain't taking no hand with no white man because I say it ain't about the white man no more. I mean, I don't give a fuck about the white man.
Well, I'm saying, listen, I'm saying the fault and the blame belongs to the white man. But the perpetuality of it, the continuation of the continuity of that culture, when we have been out of that particular type of shrewdness for a few decades now. For a few decades. I ain't gonna say it's been a lot. It's been about I want to say about 3 decades. Where it ain't been nearly as extreme as before, right? So right now, we have the space to correct some of the things that has gone wrong, and it just seems like we more comfortable with. It just seems like we're more comfortable with it being like that. Like for instance, the struggle becomes a culture. The struggle is a culture now. Right, so now people going out of their way to look like they struggling, to sound like they struggling, right? Because if you don't, then you're not cool. You're not part of the in crowd. You know what I'm saying? So it's like until we change the mentality or we change the value system of our culture, all of this stuff is gonna be like this. We gotta stop feeding off into power and empire. And I'm not knocking those shows because I love those shows, but I'm saying is those type of exploitations, those psychological exploitation that keep us in that catch-22 because we're accepting the things that are infecting our spirituality and our morality. Before now, and I don't know if anybody, this might not be true for everybody, but I know when I was coming up, gangs was a thing, but it really became a thing when Colors came out. When Colors came out, nigga, the shit exploded. And it's because our people see that stuff and then we internalize it and we start being those things. No different than when you read the Bible and all of a sudden you being Hebrew Israelites. Now all of a sudden you are the Hebrews and all you did was read the book. And it's the same thing with the TV and the radio and the internet. You see that shit and now you trying to become it. You trying to be that thing. And that's ultimately the problem is that our definition and our value of what we call safety, what we call luxury, what we call comfort, all of that shit is manufactured and given to you. And we not stepping back and saying, hey, I don't need none of that.
But how do you step back from it when you're born into it? Like you know it now because you're out of it.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Okay, but so how can the blame be placed on the people? It's like everybody is in a state of ignorance. Learn something, walk away, turn around, and curse the ignorant people. You know why they in ignorance. How you doing?
Because at some point, Suave, self-accountability have to come into play. Because like when you go to the hood, right, the white man might do X, Y, and Z to us, but that ain't got nothing to do with why it's trash up and down the street, my dude. That ain't got no reason. That ain't got nothing to do with why the grass ain't cut. That ain't got nothing to do with why your shit look like a fucking shanty. Hey, that ain't got nothing to do with the white man. That got something to do with how you. No, it got something to do with how you feel. It got something to do with about how you feel about yourself. That's how you feel about yourself. Because look, I can tell everybody in the hood who own a house because they take care of their grass. Because they take care of it.
So now what about everybody who don't own a house? Not only don't own a house,
and that's what I'm saying.
Hold on. Not only don't have a job right now, but have a mental condition. Not only have a mental condition, have a drug problem. Not just that, but have no social. Like, come on, bro, you cannot look at what we're in and find a finger on your hand. You should run out of fingers pointing in other directions before you get to us.
I'm saying, yeah, niggas got drug problems, but did you make the decision to go buy that bump? Did you make the decision to go smoke that?
Yes.
Okay, so if you made that decision, and hold on, you not finna sit here and tell me that your grown ass been living this fucking long, and you don't know doing drugs is wrong, and so you continue to do it because you don't give a fuck. You don't care, or else you would stop. You would stop the things that was hurting yourself, but you're not gonna do it because you're accustomed to the culture that you in. Like, and it's that simple. You either gonna get to a point where you're tired of the debauchery that you're living in, and you're gonna start upgrading your living situation, or you're gonna continue to stay in it. But the rest of us who are progressive, we're not gonna sit around and wait on you. We're not gonna sit around and wait on you to come to realization. But nobody is.
It seems like that's exactly what you're doing. All right now. That seems like that goes against the argument. Because remember, the argument is it's not even about them oppressing us no more. We're doing it to ourselves. But here you go with the example once again of people maturing and moving away. But it's like, hold on. People maturing and moving away from that mentality. But what you're waiting on is for everyone else to make that decision too, to do something. No. As a collective, us who have some type of mentality that separated us from those actions, and I mean, let's not act like, a nigga went to go buy a bump just like a nigga went to go buy a Whopper, like a nigga went to go buy a TV. It's always a compensation for something that's lacking that you just don't got the resources to fix. Like, we're all human. So yes, at some point in time, even though you grew up, how you doing? Watching Say No to Drug commercials, watching your uncle fucked up on crack, you still choose to smoke weed at some age. It's just worth it at
Hey,
that
I
at
don't
some
even know
point.
what Gish Gallop mean, but I feel like you just did a lot of Gish Gallop, bro.
Hey, I mean, it is what it is, bro. But this shit is recorded, and people can have their tactics to avoid the conversations. But the point was, it's not even about them no more. We're
And
doing
like
it for
I said,
ourselves.
when I say it's not about them no more, that means I don't give a fuck about them. I give a fuck about my people.
Exactly. I agree
And
with
what
you
does that
So when
mean?
I
So what does
totally.
say
that
I
mean?
don't, so don't put no words in my mouth, Squad.
So what did that mean? Who put words in your mouth?
Okay, you ain't know what. Well, like I say, listen to the tape. Like I say, when I say it's not about them, I don't give a fuck about them crackers, bitch.
Okay, so what does that mean?
I mean, we trying to hold ourselves
No,
accountable
hold
for the
on,
things
hold
that
on,
we
hold on.
can
How
and
you
can't
gonna
do.
explain what his
Yeah,
vibe mean?
Suave. That mean
Why y'all can't
taking
let
a
him? You cannot clarify
that
his thought to me.
look.
I'm not that dumb. He
Listen, bro.
can't.
Listen, bro.
No,
Listen.
no, bro. You tearing the
Listen, bro.
conversation up. We're
Bro,
not getting nowhere. If
that
That
you
means
mean
able
you
to
in
us.
tag
our own
in,
That
backyard.
yeah, I'm
mean
gonna
us
shut up.
taking
Y'all go ahead, bro.
accountability for our actions and cleaning up our act is more effective than pointing the finger at the white man.
Nigga, what the? Okay,
Well,
You
you
and
don't
don't
why
think?
did
understand
You
you?
don't
that
agree
shit.
with that?
You
Why
understand
did?
that shit?
Why can I reply, or do y'all all need to have some childish reaction?
Man, I slapped you out your ass, boy.
I'm gonna let you, but I need this
Man,
conversation to happen.
this
Do
shit
you
is
understand that?
crazy, boy.
So like I said, what
You
makes you
don't
think?
understand shit that we fucking saying. That's the crazy
Okay,
thing about the shit.
I'm sorry that you came to that conclusion, but I do, and I'm trying to
But
respond
I
to it.
like you
But
do, man.
the reason why you can't get the fact that I understand what you said is because y'all keep cutting me off. You don't want to get the fact that I understand you
Bro,
when I'm
I ain't
replying to
answering
you.
what the fuck I want, bro. I'm
You should be
listening to you.
muted out. You should be
Out.
muted out. So what I'm saying is, who told you the fact that I don't say F the white man and forget about them?
No,
That
I
I'm
ain't
not
talking
trying.
about you. I'm talking
Man,
about me.
dang, bro. Go ahead.
I'm
Y'all talk,
talking
man.
about me.
Y'all good when it comes to talking to each other. Go ahead, Echo Chamber
No,
brothers.
no, no, because look, once
No,
again, you
go
put
ahead,
words
Echo
in my
Chamber
mouth.
brother.
Did I say anything about you saying on white man? Did I say anything about you? I'm talking about me. So you put words in my mouth again. I ain't say nothing about you. But go ahead,
1867.
proceed.
No, I don't have no faith in y'all letting me talk. Go ahead, y'all do your thing.
No, because you just put words in my mouth again. Ain't nobody said one thing about you.
This is all I'm saying. So once you start taking ownership of your own community and ownership of your own actions, the ownership of the actions of the people that's under your roof, right? Once we can start doing those things, then we could talk. But until we do that, like, yeah, I agree that the white man is the reason and the cause,
Yeah,
but
we all
he's
know
not
that.
the reason and the cause for the continuation of the shit. We doing the continuation. We're keeping it going. Like it ain't no like we literally are just keeping the tradition. Yeah, it might have been fucked up. It was, but nigga, ain't nobody tell you to stay to turn poverty into a fucking lifestyle.
So, Swab, do you remember about a week ago, me and you had this same exact conversation one-on-one? And now I got two people saying the same exact thing that I was saying, and I was telling you, bro, I think you misunderstanding the bigger picture. You see what I'm saying? Like the bigger picture is that we're not saying that the agenda wasn't set by somebody else. We're saying that we're fulfilling the agenda. So if we're the ones fulfilling it, that's where the problem comes in, not who set the agenda. And I digress.
Yeah, man. So we done. We done. Is that what we doing?
Yeah.
Because it's basically like this: if you set a bowl of chitlins in front of me, don't mean I gotta eat that shit.
Yeah.
And if you eat that shit, you can't go to crying and complaining because it keep making your stomach hurt. You know what I'm saying? At some point, stop eating the goddamn chitlins.
Sound kind of logical to me. I mean, like, cause I would rather, I want to hear the alternative solution. Because God said he could fix all that shit in a year. Like that's amazing. Like how we do that? I want to hear
Now,
how
I told you that was just the Republican in him talking when he said that. But what I'm saying
I mean,
is,
I still want. I mean, he be trying to hold us to our words. I want him to hold him there. Like, what does that look like? Like, how does that? What is that? Where is that at? Like, can we see that?
No, I'm telling you straight up, that was the politician in him talking. That wasn't literal. But what I'm saying is, besides that, right? How do you come up with the solution if it's not you? Like, how do you force somebody else into having the solution that you have in mind and enforcing? Like, I don't understand how you can do that. But it might be possible. Like I say, if you know a way for us to make someone else enforce the solution that we have in mind, let me know.
Well, yeah, I don't. That's what I'm saying. I wanted to hear from him, like what that would look like. How would that?
He's thinking. He's gonna come out mute in a second. He's thinking. I promise
you. He thinking about how to get that done.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. So we really want to see this.
Yeah, I don't need a benefit of the doubt. I need y'all to learn how to construct a conversation. That's all.
All right, bet it's your turn.
And
we can be respectful.
No. I would never be that stupid for y'all again. And the thing, and for the tactic to be, stop me from talking and then start redefining my stuff and that's just this and that. Like, that's awesome of y'all. That shit is amazing. But yeah, do y'all thing.
We just waiting on the answer. That's it. How you gonna do it?
To cut it off?
No, I just told you, we letting you go. We just let you say what you just said, but it wasn't no answer.
Yeah.
No,
well,
I just
yeah,
want to know
what that looks like. 1,000%, man. We got to clean up our own backyard, bro. But we do that. But we'll be one step closer. I ain't even saying that that's all we got to do, but that's one step closer. You feel me?
Yeah. And Lorel will tell you, this is what I tell people in my own community, bro. Shit, my own community. Yeah, I didn't got games, talk to each other, all had sit downs, all type of shit, bro.
You don't come up with a solution, and then we been knowing who the ops is, supposedly.
We know who the ops is.
So if we feel like we know who the ops is and we got a solution, what are you saying we got anything to do with the ops? There ain't no reason to even worry about them once we feel like we got the solution. If somebody disagrees, here's your time to have a 2-minute segment uninterrupted.
Nah, cause I feel like if we fix us, they ain't gonna have no choice but to fall in line.
Then they jail, they prison system will be broke down. You ain't gotta worry about that shit. All that other shit. They got money for the filling shit in, fill everything in. All this shit programmed and designed. And we don't do nothing but fulfill the damn plan. I mean, Tupac said the same shit, so ain't nobody saying. You heard me, Ruben?
What you say, Kurt?
I say Tupac said the same shit. Ain't nobody had a problem when you said shit.
Right.
He say shit. They say as a white man I should feel, but my own kind doing all the killing here.
On the real.
What the fuck?
Man, these little niggas just shot up a fucking parade in Clinton. 6 people shot, including the 6-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Like the white man that make them niggas go do that shit.
For real. Shit, a black man killed his damn kids and he killed his damn when he killed his goddamn self. Now that's some white folk shit, but a black man did it. What the fuck? There's a pandemic going on around this motherfucker. This shit getting worse and worse.
Yeah, you know, it's like, bro, they got these niggas like in Baton Rouge and in New Orleans, but they got generational beef going on. You know what I'm saying? These niggas beefing with each other. Their daddies was beefing with each other. Their grandpas was beefing with each other. Their great grandpas was beefing with each other. And if you ask these young niggas why they beefing, they probably couldn't even fucking tell you. That's not a white man problem. That's a nigga problem.
Yeah, that tribal war, that, but you know, we always did that tribal war. There. See, that's the problem. That's another thing with slavery and shit. All these tribes going to war with each other, then you mix them up with all type of DNA within each other. That shit a great make your ass crazy too.
Yeah, I believe that is a factor too. You know what I'm saying? I do feel like that play a role in the conditioning overall. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where we come from. We come from warring tribes, nigga, and all was forcibly made to mix with each other for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? And we carrying all of that fucking conflict in our DNA.
Yeah.
Click DNA.
Let me pull this document up, right? So we can talk about this shit, man. All right,
I don't like how Suave just gaslighted everybody like that, though.
Like premium unleaded.
The shit is real. The shit is real. The shit is real. That's crazy. I'm a gaslighter.
It says the constitutional narrative and standing for American or Maroon national. It codifies the transition from a racialized subject, African American / Black, to a sovereign political entity rooted in indigenous African synthesis and international law. American or Maroon is defined as a descendant of the unconquered, those indigenous African and Native American bloodlines who actively resisted colonial subjugation. Now, maybe some of y'all not descendants of indigenous Africans and Native Americans who resisted colonial subjugation. Maybe your ancestors was just the ones who laid down and just took it. They just accepted it. Well, some of our ancestors didn't accept it. Some of them fought back, and we claiming those lineages as well. So why is it that we could gravitate and hold on to the slave narrative, but when you got this unconquered narrative, you will run away from that? Why run away from the unconquered narrative? The descendants of colonial Marines who negotiated liberty through military prowess and established sovereign land bases. So that's the lineage of Americans, the Marines who negotiated their liberty through military prowess and established sovereign land bases. So that's the legacy that that's behind Americans, and those Americans are American.
Huh? Oh shit! Oh Lord, I keep one of them motherfucking things on, man. Hold on.
And then it says Maroon lineage, descendants of self-liberated communities, the Cimarroons, who maintain autonomous jurisdiction in the wilderness of the Americas through guerrilla warfare and treaty making. Again, these are Maroon people who are making treaty, just like the Americans who also established sovereign land bases and negotiated liberty. Negotiating liberty and treaty making is the same thing. You see what I'm saying? Now, identity. Rejecting black as a mere phenotype and African American as a status granted, a state granted status. So y'all have to understand that black and African American are state granted statuses. State granted statuses, and then we got to go into like what those statuses mean and how that operates within the system. We assert that American or Maroon.
That mean that name was given to us.
Yeah, I'm already here. American or Maroon.
Great patch, Emmanuel. Went over all our heads.
As a national identity based on the history of statehood autonomy. So when we dealing with the Maroon or American, the premise behind Maroon American is national identity based on the history of statehood autonomy. I'm gonna say it again. Black African American, slaves, American Maroons, statehood autonomy. That's the difference, right? So geopolitical standing, statehood before integration, and this was my own idea. We should have went into statehood before they integrated us into this motherfucker. Not allowing us to be a state and then bringing us in is the reason why we subjugated to them. So it says under the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, or UNDRIP, specifically Articles 3 and 4, we insert our inherent right to self-determination, sovereign priority. Our primary allegiance is to the collective body of our nation. We demand statehood autonomy, the right to govern our own land, resources, and laws before any corporation with the United States government or its subsidiaries, corporations. All interactions with the United States are to be viewed as international relations. We are not citizens in the traditional sense. We are nationals of a successor state interacting with a foreign power. Do y'all understand? I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna stop if y'all don't understand that shit. I'll keep going if y'all do. Where we at? All right, doctrine of human resources and cultural property. So our nation recognizes that our most extracted resource is our geniusness, the cultural, artistic, and spiritual soul of our people. The global economy has mined our human resources, music, fashion, vernacular, and style without compensation. We now classify these as national intellectual properties under UNDRIP Article 31. The monopoly of geniusness. We are the sole owners of the cool and the soul that drives the global market. Any entity using our cultural aesthetics for profit is in debt to the collective body of the Maroon or American nation. We declare the biological data, DNA, and intellectual patents of all American Maroon individuals are held in escrow in trust for the collective body. Our genetic material is a state asset. We revoke all implied consent for the medical industrial complex to profit from our biological heritage without a sovereign compensation agreement. The collective estate, individual labor, and innovations are exports from our national body. Revenue generated from these exports must be redirected to the National Sovereignty Fund to build our schools, healthcare, and infrastructure. Keep going if y'all still with me?
Yeah, I'm listening.
So, when interacting with the U.S. institutions, the national shall maintain the following standing, right? In legal standing, we assert statuses as sovereign nationals under UNDRIP. In labor and employment, we classify that as trade agreements between individuals and a foreign corp or a corporation. And in education, we prioritize Maroon or American curriculum, sovereignty law, indigenous science, history, that type of stuff. In economics, we prioritize internal bartering, co-ops, and land trusts over foreign banking, right? Because we ain't got access to like hard resources. We are the hard resource. A formal declaration. We are the unconquered. We do not seek a seat at the table of our former oppressors. We seek the recognition of our own table. Our DNA is our treasury, our culture is our currency, and our autonomy is non-negotiable. Legal and biopolitical estates. By framing the very physical presence of and data of our people, specifically African American patents, referring to both biological data, DNA, and the intellectual cultural output mentioned earlier as escrow in trust, you are establishing a national treasury of flesh and spirit. In this framework, the individual is no longer a customer or a subject of the U.S. medical industry or corporate complex. They are an asset of the Maroon American sovereign state, currently held in trust. The doctrine of biological and intellectual escrow. We declare that the biological data and genetic material and intellectual patents of our people are not the property of the U.S. government or private corporation. They are held in escrow for the collective body of the Maroon American nation. Biological sovereignty, the DNA trust. Historically, the bodies of our ancestors were used as medical test subjects and sources of biological profit. That is like Henrietta Lacks, right? Under the national identity, we assert genetic protection. Every Maroon American national DNA is a state asset. Use of this data by pharmaceutical companies or tech firms without a national treaty, a national treaty is a violation of international law. Escrow status. We are in escrow, waiting for the fulfillment of the condition of our autonomy before our full human resources are unlocked for the world. The intellectual patent of escrows. Every innovation from linguistic patterns that drive AI training sets to the geniusness that fuels global markets is a patentable asset belonging to the national body. Collective gain. No individual American should be forced to bargain alone against multi-billion dollar corporations. The collective body act as a trustee, ensuring that the wealth generated from our culture and artistry is returned to the national infrastructure, which is land, school, healthcare. To protect this escrow, the Maroon American nation adheres to the following sovereign legal standing. A non-disclosure of geniusness. We do not offer the soul of our culture for free. If a foreign entity seeks to mine our cultural or biological data, they must enter into a revenue sharing agreement with the collective body. We cite UNDRIP Article 31 to claim legal authority over our human resources. Indigenous people have a right to maintain, control, protect, and develop their intellectual property over such cultural heritage, traditional knowledge, and traditional cultural expression. So again, right now, your biological data is being held as captive and ransom as property of the hospital and the labs of the U.S. system. In the system that we talking about, your sovereign biological data is held in a sovereign bio estate trust. Cultural innovations in the U.S. That is called, but to us, it's a national intellectual property. The way you wear your clothes, the way you talk, the way you wear your hair, all of that shit is national intellectual property of our nation. And people in places all around the world was using our shit and ain't paying us for it. I want to bring y'all to y'all attention to when the Native Americans had sued the Redskins for using that emblem with the Indian on it. Or was that the Chiefs? No, that was the Indians, right? I can't remember which one of those teams did that. And they sued them for that shit, and they won because they culture appropriating. Right. So they was culture appropriating, right? And it was kind of disrespectful because that's their intellectual property. You know what I'm saying? Like that's your intellectual property. So it is what it is. Hold on, yo. I gotta do something real quick, man. Put this little egg on here. All right, where I leave off there. So again, so like that's our intellectual property, right? So anything that we doing, like however we do it, the way the women braid their hair, that's our intellectual property. And if you want to use that shit, you want to use our shit, then you need to be paying us. So we need to be getting some type of payment off of every time they use nigga shit. You feel what I'm saying? Now, personal labor, right? In the U.S. system, that's called at-will employment. But we're saying under our system, that's exported service of the state. So you working for Popeyes or churches or wherever you work, we're saying that's a trade. That's a trade agreement between our nation and that corporation or the U.S. government, and we should be getting paid. Or our treasury should be getting filled because y'all got 50 million niggas employed, and y'all just making money off these they bodies when that money should be getting sent to our treasury. We wouldn't be sitting here asking for handouts and reparations if we was properly set up as a statehood with a treasury and our actual works and the things that we do fed our treasury. But right now it don't feed our treasury, it feeds the U.S. treasury. And y'all raping us and y'all molesting us all throughout the nation and have been since we got here. So we say like we putting a stop to that. So by defining our people as escrow, we shift the power dynamics. We are no longer asking for a seat at the table. We are informing the world that we are the table. The U.S. government and corporations are currently borrowing the human capital of the American Maroon Nation. The debt for this use is the recognition of our. You want to keep using niggas in your military. You want to keep using niggas in your university. You want to keep using niggas in your TV and your entertainment. You want to keep using niggas. Nigga, that's the price. Statehood autonomy. Y'all ain't also we ain't ready for this yet. Y'all ain't ready to go this route. Y'all still want to grab picket signs and shit, right? Y'all don't want no real solutions. You just want to cry about the shit. You don't want to dust ourselves up. Let me keep going. We are not minorities seeking and are a sovereign estate reclaiming its assets from a foreign trust. What's the foreign trust? The United States. The same United States that we've been fighting since they pulled up. We've been banging with these motherfuckers since they pulled up. And y'all just forgot that we was banging with them because 1865 made y'all forget everything. It made y'all forget everything that your ancestors fought for hundreds of years. They wasn't fighting to go back to Africa. They was not fighting to go back to Africa. They was fighting statehood here, right here in these lands. And so that's why when I hear the Abos talk they shit, I give them a little leeway because of that. Because yeah, nigga, we trying to declare statehood for the longest since we've been here. When the Portuguese and the Spanish pulled up, we fought against them, fought their ass back. Nigga, we had our own free settlements here. Nigga, when the French pulled up, we did the same thing. Whooped they monkey ass, sent them packing, right? Free autonomy state. Nigga, dealing with the United States, they're the only ones like, nah, fuck that. They wasn't trying to have it, so they did everything. So all of that stuff, the Seminole War, all of that shit with New Orleans, Dave Mask, all of that stuff was them overthrowing their state. You don't understand that shit because y'all don't understand how statehood works. But when you got an organized militia, and you got your own trade routes, and you got your own allies, and you're manufacturing the things that you consume on a regular basis, all your people, y'all eat, that shit came from them farms. They had 50 miles. It says up and down the tributaries of that river, there were 50 miles of nothing but farms and husbandries. Husbandries are where they domesticate animals and horses and cows and all that type of shit, right? And they said 50 miles of that. 50 miles? Do you understand how big 50 miles is of nothing but farms? Nigga, that's called industry, bro. So they didn't just overthrow a bunch of ragtag ass niggas. They overthrew a state. If they would have never done that shit, Florida, Louisiana, the Bible Belt would be a black republic right now. It would be a black republic. We would, like they talk about Haiti being the first black republic in the West, but had Andrew Jackson and the rest of them devilish ass white tea people didn't overthrow our state, you would have a Republican, black Republican state right here in the southeast of the continental United States. Had they never did what they did. Now I'm gonna keep going. It says the American Maroon Nation recognized that its primary national resources is its human capital, the unique synthesis of indigenous African and Native American creativity, artistry, and geniusness. For centuries, the global economy has treated American Maroon culture as a common resource to be mined, sampled, commodified by foreign governments and corporations without compensation to the national body. Under this new protocol, we declare an end to cultural extractivism. Under UNDRIP Article 31, indigenous people have the right to maintain, control, and protect and develop their cultural heritage and intellectual property. The cool monopoly, the global standard for music, fashion, vernacular, and soul, is derived from the Maroon American experience. This is not pop culture. This is a national intellectual property of our sovereign lineage. Y'all got to understand what it is. Y'all think y'all just being cool, talking all that jazz all damn day. Y'all think that it's just y'all talking. No, that's a national treasure. Every time you open your mouth, everything you do, every paper you write, every piece of art that you create, every music that you create, nigga, is a national treasure, and it's supposed to be feeding your nation, but it's not feeding your nation. It's feeding the United States government and whatever multi-global corporations is exploiting us at the time. We assert that our collective body must be a primary beneficiary of our artistry. Engaged with global entertainment and tech industries is no longer a matter of individual celebrity, but a trade agreement between our nation and their corporations. Imagine us getting paid because Beyonce is getting paid. Because Beyonce got a fucking hit album, all of us getting paid because they all using her shit, listening to her shit, distributing our national treasure all across the planet. That's our treasure. Michael Jackson, that's our shit. And we supposed to be able to claim it as a national treasure. But we're not doing that. Y'all just want to argue about the problems. Y'all don't want to create solutions. I got solutions for us, right? It says we reject the term human resources as used by corporations describe human batteries. Instead, we define it as national talent pool. The refusal of exploitation. We acknowledge that while the world mimics our geniusness for profit, they often ignore the national autonomy of the creators. The sovereign filter. Any use of American maroon cultural aesthetics, spiritual practices, or linguistic patterns by foreign entities must be met with national licensing requirements. If a corporation uses our culture to market their product, they are in debt to the maroon American state. And again, like, let me see. So it's like, to ensure the collective body gain from artistry, the Maroon American National shall prioritize national platforms, develop and support Maroon-owned distribution and technological infrastructure to house our human resources. Cultural embargo. If a foreign entity or government disparages the Maroon American right to statehood autonomy, the national body reserves the right to a cultural strike, withholding the artistic and creative labor that drives the global market. Reparations of profit. Negotiate corporate partnerships so that a percentage of cultural profits is redirected into national land trusts and autonomous schools. Our culture is the goal of the 21st century. We no longer allow the world to mind our spirits while we live as minorities on our own ancestral soil. Our authority is derived from the treaty traditions of our ancestors, and the natural law of those who never were conquered. We utilize the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People as our international legal shield. Before engaging in domestic U.S. politics or corporate employment, the Maroon American National adheres to the following priority hierarchy: territorial integrity, identification of land bases, urban or rural, where the community exercises primary jurisdiction over food, water, and security. Economy, barter, internal currency, and co-ops over the U.S. dollar. Jurisdiction notice. In all legal dealings, the individual asserts their status as a sovereign successor of indigenous African synthesis, challenging the U.S. government's rights to worship over their person. You understand that? It says when American Maroon National enter into an agreement with a foreign entity, the United States government or a corporation, the interaction is governed by contract law, not subjecthood. Labor as export. We do not get a job. We export our labor from our national body to a foreign corporation. The income is viewed as a foreign trade revenue intended to build the Maroon state. Political abstination. We reject the minority voting bloc. Participation in the U.S. election is only done as a diplomatic strategy to protect the interests of Maroon American state, not out of patriotism. So basically saying we only deal in U.S. politics to protect our own interests diplomatically. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's basically what it's saying. It says educational session. We prioritize Maroon curriculum and the teaching of indigenous science, self-defense, and sovereign law above the standardized U.S. curriculum, which is designed to produce workers, not nationals. So again, as a U.S. citizen, African American, your taxation basis is compulsory for social services. We're telling you that the Maroon American National, it should be tribute paid under protest and contract. Identity sources. The U.S. citizen or African American is a 14th Amendment 14th Amendment statutory. whereas your Maroon American national status is your ancestral lineage, indigenous. The law of land, the U.S. Constitution / UCC, whereas we're standing on natural law, Maroon treaties, and UNDRIP. Governance which is with the federal and state and local, and we're saying that our power comes from our autonomous councils and our elder circles, like always. You know what I'm saying? The adoption of American and Maroon as a national identity is a declaration that the war for independence never ended. It simply shifted into a legal and economic phase. By exerting statehood first, we transform from a marginalized group into a strategic power that the U.S. must negotiate with as a peer. Maroon is not a citizen of a state. The Maroon is the state. Geopolitical stature. By defining Maroon American through these lens of the indigenous African synthesis and the United Nations Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People, we established that framework for the statehood before integration. To adopt that national identity of American Maroon is to reject the status and the subject of minority. Instead, it inserts the status as successor states, people of indigenous African and Native American descent who fuse bloodlines and destinies to resist colonial occupation. Under this framework, the Maroon America is not defined by race alone, but by lineage and resistance. The indigenous synthesis, recognition of Black Indians or Aboriginal Africans, fusions. This acknowledged that the Maroon communities were often formed on ancestral lands of Native allies, creating a unique, inseparable bond of ingenuity. Active resistance memberships is defined by historical or contemporary acts of Maroonage, the refusal to submit to the jurisdiction of the United States without a negotiated treaty. And if you don't think that's our people, then you ask yourself why we constantly always trying to get around the laws and the statutes and the and whatnot ordinances in our cities and in the country that we live in. Why? It's because we got a history of Maroonage. We got a history of resistance. You got a history of fighting against this system. If you think the way this system is set up and the way that this stuff is being employed to us is proper, it's not. You're not supposed to be spending your money, your income money that you work at a job. You're not supposed to be spending that money at a store and buying goods and services with that stuff. That stuff's supposed to be free because it's already paid for by the Treasury. So the government is not being operated for the people. It's being operated for whoever the hell is in power, shadow hand as is in power, ciphering all the money and resources away from our people. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, it says let me keep going, man. It says, by framing the identity through the United Nations Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People, the American Maroon Nationals claim legal protection that African Americans do not possess. And what they mean by we don't possess is Article 3 of UNDRIP, the right to self-determination, to freely determine political status and pursue economic and social cultural development, right? Because we under the United States, Article 3 of UNDRIP don't pertain to us. Because we're not a political body, Article 4 of UNDRIP don't pertain to us. The right to autonomy or self-govern in matters relating to internal or local affairs. Huh? Right? Because you're not a fucking real human, a real person, you're just a damn U.S. vassal, right? Article 26 of UNDRIP don't pertain to your black ass. Right? That's the right to lands, territories, and resources which they have traditionally owned, occupied, and otherwise used or acquired. That's what you can't do right now. Black man, black nation, or whatever the hell we want to call ourselves today, right? The scholarly argument, if the American of 1812s and the Maroons of the Dismal Swamp held land and exercised military law independent of the United States, their descendants are rightful heirs to the sovereign successor states, not just protected classes under the 14th Amendment. Right now, you're just a protected class under the 14th Amendment. God forbid they get rid of the 14th Amendment on your ass. Huh? So, comparisons, let's compare the national status, right? So, as an African-American U.S. citizen, your legal basis is the 14th Amendment granted by the state. Our national status that we talking about, the Maroon American national status, is granted to you by UNDRIP, natural law, inherent, right? The origin, right, of African American U.S. citizen comes from post 1865 integration, right? But the American Maroon national is pre 1776. And the 1812 resistance. Y'all hear that? That's before the United States. That's before. If y'all keep doing every fucking thing except for going back before the United States, before the United States was a union, who were you? That's the question. Who were you? Nigga, you was maroon. You was maroon. How wasn't you maroon? All you niggas that ran from and fought against slavery, all of y'all are maroon. If you got the blood of Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, any of these freedom against this bullshit. We had our own stuff. We had our own stuff, bro. But anyway, your relationship to the United States is a subordinate award of the state. As an African American citizen, you're awarded the state. As American, you would be external, and it'll be treaty based. It's based on our treaties. The states is equity within the system, but your goal with us is autonomy outside of the system. Why can't we just be a nation of our own? Why does that scare you? Why does that scare the U.S. government so much of black people being a nation of our own? That don't mean that we have to. That don't mean we have to cut ties with the United States, but we need to be able to stand on our own and do our own fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta take the training wheels off at some point. At some point.
Crutch, because our people use that slavery shit as a crutch, something to fall back on, like a built-in excuse. You know what I'm saying? And take that shit away.
No, they don't want that. It says adopting this identity is a strategic move to exit the civil rights loop. It asserts that the debt owed is not merely reparation in currency, but the recognition of statehood. It demands that any interaction with the U.S. government be handled as international diplomacy between two sovereign entities, escaping the minority paradigm. The term Black and African American are often tethered to the domestic policy of the United States. They define a group by its relationship to the majority. The American nation, to identify as American, is to claim a specific history of treaty-based migrations. It recognized a group that functioned as a military unit and later as a land-owning class. It shifts the identity from being descendants of enslaved to the descendants of liberators. See, the Maroonage, or the Maroon Nation, the Maroonage, is recognized by historians as the first form of independent Black nationalism in the West. And I'm going to read that again. It says Maroon Nation is recognized by historians as the first form of independent Black nationalism in the West. Like I said, we need to go back before the United States. Adopting this is a national identity asserts that one's primary allegiance is to a lineage that successfully seceded from colonial rule. In politics, in political science, a nation is a group of people with a shared history, culture, and crucially, a history of self-governance. Black, African American, is a racial ethnic classification, right? And the political power is negotiating rights within an existing state, whereas American Maroon is a national political identity and is asserting a history of independent sovereignty. So that's the difference between claiming black versus claiming maroon. One, you're claiming independent sovereignty. The other one, you're claiming to be a ward and vassal of the state. You can't complain about the police busting you upside your head and doing all this crazy shit to you when you agree to be a ward and vassal of the state. And what does most parents do to their children? Beat their ass. That's what most parents do to children, beat them. And that's what you do. You getting your ass beat by your illegitimate ass parent called the U.S. government because they don't recognize you as a national or a political body. They don't recognize you politically because you're black. And black is civil amortus, dead in law. That's what that means. It says adopting the maroon as a national identity centers the dismal swamp, the Blue Mountains, and Palmares as the ancient ancestral homelands rather than just the continent of Africa or the U.S. South. It creates a nation without borders that prioritize a eukarchy, economic sufficiency, clandestiny, protecting community secrets and culture from state surveillance and common law, adhering to internal codes of the community over external colonial laws. The term African American is a catch all that can inadvertently erase specific survival cultures. American identity preserves a specific heritage of company, villages, and unique blend of American Southern culture and Caribbean independence. Maroon identity validates the Creole language and spiritualities like Obey and the Gullah traditions as the official national customs of a liberated people rather than dialects of a dominant culture. The power of the national label. By identifying as Maroon National, American National, individual reframes their presence in the West. They are no longer a minority within the country. They are a member of a diasporic nation that has historically negotiated its own peace and secured its own land. The Maroon does not ask for freedom. The Maroon asserts a pre-existing sovereignty that state simply fails to recognize. So like that's the you dig. And now we just gonna open it up for questions and
Own is already in place. It's already in place for us.
so yeah, man. Like so again, if y'all got any questions, if the crowd, if the chat got any questions, like we ready for them, like or we gonna go on to the next subject. But I mean like that. I think that was kind of heavy. I don't know what you on A1. What you doing no good, cuz? A1. Uh-oh. What they talking about? Anybody got any questions? That's funny. That's funny. He said that. I'm gonna let you finish. I most definitely got a comment for that. So it's funny he says that. He says that while he's enjoying the freedom that niggas fought for, niggas that wasn't sitting on the sideline watching. It's funny that you're saying that from the safety that our ancestors gave you who fought and died. Like, that's wild crazy that you would even have that assumption that you'll put the Bible into that. The Bible. I thank God our ancestors wasn't thinking that same shit. You know what? We just gonna sit back and watch.
Ended the first variation of the KKK. You know what I'm saying? The walls have already been fought. Our ancestors wasn't sitting around waiting on the sky to crack. As long as we're sitting here waiting on the sky to crack and a savior to come and save us, we're going to keep getting a foot in our ass. And that's just where I'm at with that. Respectfully. No disrespect to no religious people, but even your Bible will tell you it's a time to kill. You know what I'm saying? When Jesus was getting persecuted, he didn't tell his disciples to say, turn the other cheek, wait on the sky to crack, wait on God. He told them niggas, sell what you got to go get a sword.
I'm actually curious on where in the scripture did it say for you to sit back and watch? What scripture is that? Because all throughout the book, God had people fucking throwing down. He had them banging on wax. So I'm trying to figure out what part did he tell them to be turncoats? When did he tell them to tuck their tails and just watch? Like, I don't know. Like, we need that question answered, man. But like I said, it's funny that he's saying that with the comfort, under the comfort that our ancestors gave him by fighting and not just watching. And we've been in constant resistance since the first boat pulled up. In constant resistance. We ain't stopped fighting. We still ain't stopped fighting. Nigga, they got Black Panthers all over social media. Guess what? That's a secessionist organization. More Science Temple, secessionist organization. Man, that shit crazy. I can't believe why people even like that. He said they ain't supposed to be doing nothing but sitting back watching. And what's up with all the Israelite videos of you niggas getting sprayed in the face with mace and training for war and all that type of shit? What y'all training for if y'all just supposed to sit back and watch? I don't know. Man, make it make sense. I hope the brother come back with a comment because we most definitely need to see what that look like. Right. But they talking about sitting on their hands. Nat Turner read the book and became a damn Zeliot.
Right, during the time we talking about, it's like most of the revolt leaders were people who were versed in the scripture. You know what I'm saying?
What?
You got Mark Bessie. He was a pastor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got Nat Turner. It's like the Prosa brothers.
Thessalonians.
It's like you can go down the list of them.
Thessalonians. Hell, even the white one, John Brown. He even said nigga
Right.
going to church and God told him to start whacking motherfuckers for enslaving black people. And he read that same book, but your book tell you to sit on your hands. That's wild crazy, man. That's all. Hey, I don't know what y'all want to do. Y'all want to sit around and wait, or like what y'all want to do? Y'all want to wait on Jesus, or y'all want to get out here and get it the fuck in? I don't know. What we got next, A1? What we got next? I know they ain't the only comment. They ain't the only question. Hello? Oh shit, man. Yeah, man. They gonna have to come up with something better than that though, cause we on all that. We on all that. Buddy straight said we need to be sitting back watching. Just watch. Just watch. When we start doing that type of stuff. When we just start sitting back watching. We be getting into the shit. We get into the thick of it. When we just start sitting back, we never just sat back and watched. We always was antsy enough to jump up in wars that ain't got nothing to do with us. Amen.